What's up YouTube? Today I'm going to show you how to remove the intake manifold on an R56 Mini Cooper S with an N14 engine. This job is pretty easy. Anyone can do it if you have basic hand tools. There's one bolt that's a little bit difficult to get to and a little bit harder to put back in than it is to get out. I'm going to show you how to do that, so anyone will be able to do it after watching this video. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, and stick around. You're going to want to watch this whole video. Alright, the first thing you're going to want to do is remove your airbox. Mine's OEM. If yours is different, you're going to have to do it however you put it in. I have a catch can, so mine's going to be a little bit different than yours, but I've already removed it. I've already unbolted it here, so it might be a little bit kind of the same. But first step I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the vacuum line. In fact, I'm going to get a better shot and show you guys how to do that. Okay, on the vacuum line, there's these little tabs right here. There's one on each side, and you just push in on both of them and lift up, and it pops out. It's pretty easy. All right, since I'm already over here, I'm going to go ahead and remove the mass airflow sensor. I don't know what this is called. This is plug. I'm just going to press in, and that's going to lift up, and then I'm going to pull out like that. Next, I'm gonna remove this plug right here. Just gonna take a screwdriver, put it underneath that little tab right there, pry it out, and lift up at the same time, and it'll pop right out. Now you're gonna want to take either a 7mm socket or a flathead screwdriver. I'm gonna use a flathead screwdriver, and loosen your turbo inlet pipe. It's already pretty loose apparently. And loosen that, and then there's one more right here. My catch can's kind of in the way, but get to it. Alright, it's right there. Just loosen that. And now for your PCV hose right here, you're going to want to take this piece off right here. And there's a little tab right here that you push in on. And there's also one on the other side. So sometimes you have to push them both. Sometimes you can get it with one. We'll see if I can get it with one. And you have to use both hands for this. Alright. I'm going to push in like I was just showing you, and then kind of lift up at the same time, and then do the other side with my hand, and it just comes right out. See how there's one on each side that you got to press in. Alright, so if you have an OEM, your hose just goes from here to here, so it's the same step. You're going to pull that out just like that. You're going to pull this hose away from your airbox, pull it off of your turbo inlet, and the whole thing's going to come out as one piece. And now on the passenger side of your car, there's one little T25 Torx screw right here, right underneath your, see if I can focus it, it's right there, right underneath where your other PCV valve comes out. So you're just going to want to take that out with the T25 Torx bit. It's pretty easy. Mine's a little bit harder to get to because I have these hoses in the way, but yours will be easy to get to. Let me get a better shot. Alright, well I can't really get a better shot, but I need to use both hands. Take the screw out. I won't make you watch me take that whole thing out. Okay, once you get it to where it's hand loose, you'll get it and you'll feel it where you can pull it out, and it doesn't actually come all the way out. So once you get to that point, you can just pick up your airbox and pop it out. There's one little connection over here, let me show you. Underneath here, where this hose that comes in, follow that down. It connects to your air box. You just want to figure out how to pop that out. Mine just kind of popped out when I picked up my air box. There you go. That's how you take that out. Move this sensor right here. Just pick up on that tab. Go ahead and pull that out. All right, now you want to take off. There's 5, I believe 13 millimeters. Yeah, it's 5 13 millimeter. You're gonna need a deep socket. That was why I just switched sockets. But I'm gonna start with the outside two. I'm gonna work my way in. Just gonna loosen them. I'm gonna come to this outside. I'm gonna go to this outside. Just break it loose. And right here. And the middle one. Just like that. And I'm just gonna unthread them by hand. Since they're already loose, it doesn't really matter the order. These look like that. I'm not gonna make you watch me take all 5 of them out though. You're gonna want to keep one of these pen magnets close by, because this one over here, it's kind of hard to keep your hand on. So I'm just gonna keep the magnet on it so when I take it out, I don't drop it. Just like that. Okay, once you get all 5 of those out, your manifold will be able to move a little bit, but you have one more bolt down on the bottom. That's it's actually really easy to get to. I'm going to show you how to get to it right now. Okay, from underneath your car, I'm going to turn the light on here. You can see that bolt right there. It's right underneath your throttle body. It's a 10 millimeter, and I'm going to show you how to get to it. It's not that hard. Okay, so what I use is this Milwaukee ratchet, electric ratchet. It's the M12. Works pretty good. And 2 really long extensions, and that little tiny one right there that just flexes. This part that flexes is pretty important so that you can get it onto that bolt. Okay, so you're going to want to take your ratchet. You're going to want to go between the end link and the brake line, and then above this air conditioning line, and go straight back. Well, there's really no position I can put the camera to where I can show you me taking this bolt out. So I just showed you how to put the ratchet in there. I'm just going to turn it. Then you're going to take your, well, I'm just going to pull it straight out, but if you have a magnet, let me see if I can find mine. Yeah. I'm going to take this magnet and I'm going to try to get that bolt so I don't drop it. Oh, it's not out all the way. And there's the bolt. Oops. Put it where you can see it, right there. Okay, if you can see where my screwdriver is, there's that plastic little rubber tab. You're going to want to slide that off, and then there's another one. I'm not going to be able to hold the camera and do that at the same time though. I'll show you. Alright, so you're just going to take a screwdriver, put on that plastic, or that rubber piece. I put my finger as like a pry point and hold on to the manifold, and then just pry it towards the driver's side of the car. And that pops right off like that. if you look straight down, right in between the two inlet tubes, you can see where the end of my screwdriver is. It's right on top of another one. And I'm going to do the same exact thing to pop that one off. Use my finger for a leverage point again, if it works. Yep, and that just popped right off. Alright, now since your intake manifold is attached to your throttle body, you're going to want to remove this hose. Either, I'm just going to remove it from right here, I'm just going to take the whole thing out. I think that'll be the easiest route to go. But you could take it off on the bottom if you want, but I think that's going to be the easiest way. Just going to go ahead and loosen that. Oops. Not left-handed, so this is going to look kind of awkward. Alright, that's probably good. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and pull it off. Like that. Now there's just one, I believe there's either one or two more connectors in here. Oh, here's one thing I got to show you guys. You see that connector right there? You can unconnect it if you want, make it a little bit easier, but I'm just going to move it around that metal tab. I'm going to see if I can do it while I'm on camera. Okay. Now that rubber piece that I just popped off the first one, I'm just going to pull that around so it's out of the way. Let's see what's holding me. I know there's another connector in here, I just got to find it. Alright, for me, since I have this catch can, all this PVC stuff is in my way, so I'm going to go ahead and pull my PVC line off. And just move that to the side right there. If I can. Get that out of the way. Pull this up. Alright, there's the connector right there. It's right here. Let me show you guys. I want to remove that connector. And, okay, yours is going to have a little tab on it, but mine is broke off. So mine, I'm just going to grab it. I already did it once, but mine just pulls off. Fish it around. Should. Oh, luckily I disconnected this because it all comes out together. Okay, so it turns out on this first little vacuum thing that you popped off, you do need to remove this. So you just pop that off like that. And then on the back of it, there's this little vacuum line. It removes the same way as this one did. See, I don't think I can do it with one hand, but let's find out. Yeah, I'm gonna need at least my other hand. Yeah, I'm gonna need two hands to do that, but it pops off the same way as the other vacuum line. Alright, so I'm just gonna reach in there, press both sides of it, and it just pops right off. Now from there, you should be able to pull your intake manifold all the way off. Alright, now once you do whatever it is, whatever the reason you were pulling your intake manifold off for, the reason I made this video is because I'm gonna show you guys how to do pull the head off. I just didn't want to do all the parts in one long video. So I did the exhaust manifold, I'm doing the intake manifold, I did the thermostat housing. I'm going to show you everything in separate videos. That way, when you go to do a head gasket or something, you don't have to watch the videos that you already know how to do, remove whatever it is. So I'm going to do it all in separate things. I'm going to put it in one playlist so that you can just pick and choose what videos you want to watch. But now I'll show you how to put the intake manifold back on. Okay, make sure you have your PCV hose in the right spot of your manifold so it's going, underneath here. and then in between your throttle body and your intake runners. I'm just going to slide that down in there. Okay, now that vacuum hose that you disconnected earlier, you're going to reach down in there. You're going to want to connect that first. This should just pop right in. Yeah, it just snaps in like that. Okay, now I'm going to take this electrical connector that goes on the other side of this little vacuum thing. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. And then go ahead and slide the rubber piece onto the connector where it goes. Then remember the bottom vacuum thing. I'm going to reach down there and pick that up. I wish I could get this on camera, but there's just no room. And I'm going to slide that over top of the metal little thing that was holding that too. Alright. Cap here. It's this rubber piece right here that I slid on first, and then I slid that rubber piece on right there. And they just go over those metal tabs that you took them off of. See if I get my camera to focus, but right there, don't forget to plug in your throttle body. Alright, now you're going to want to find your map sensor connector so you don't put yourself in a jam to where you can't get it out. Let me locate mine real quick. Alright, it'll be connected to this wire that's right here that runs right up by your Veno solenoid. I'm going to go underneath my... Actually, I'm going to go behind this. Just plug that in. Alright, if I need to unplug that and move it later, I will. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my intake manifold. I'm going to line up those 5 bolts, or 5 studs. Just going to slide it on, just like that. I'm going to take these 5 nuts. I'm just gonna put them on in no particular order because I'm just putting them on by hand. Make sure you don't drop any of them. One in the middle might be the hardest one, but I wouldn't call any of them hard. They're actually really easy to get to. Alright, now I'm just going to take my socket, my 13mm socket that I took it off with. I'm going to start on the very middle bolt. I'm just going to tighten it by hand, pretty much as tight as I can get it by hand. And then I'm going to go to the bolt on either side of it, doesn't matter. And I'm going to tighten that by hand as tight as I can get it. And then I'm going to move to the bolt on the opposite side of the center bolt and do the same thing. I'm going to go all the way to the outside, on the opposite side again. Tighten that as tight as I can by hand. And then go all the way to the last bolt, which is on the opposite side of the intake manifold. The Bentley manual says to tighten these down to 11 foot-pounds. I just tighten them with the ratchet. If you want to use a torque wrench and do 11 foot-pounds, it's up to you. So I'm just going to tighten the middle one. In the same order that I just went in by hand, I'm now going to do with the ratchet. didn't go that tight. I'll probably do another pass to make sure. Yeah. I've done this multiple times this way. I've never had any issue. Okay. Now, just because I'm right here, I'm going to go ahead and put this hose back on. Move that out of the way. Make sure you get a better shot. You want to make sure you get this tight because this is under boost and it will pop off. So what I do is I tighten it with a screwdriver, get it pretty to where it feels really tight, and then I tighten it the rest of the way with a 7mm either ratchet or an open end or a box end wrench or something. Today I'm gonna be using this little ratchet. You can get it pretty tight with the screwdriver. This just gets it that little extra bit and makes it not pop off. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and set this air box back in. I'm going to make sure these tabs right here go in these 4 holes. Make sure you don't have everything in the way. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my mass airflow sensor. Before I get too carried away here. Go ahead and I'm going to hook this. Let me get a better shot. I should have cleaned it before I put it in, but I'm going to hook this hose up in the back all the way up to the intake box. You just put it in that hole and move it around until you see it pop all the way in. There you go. And now you're going to take your intake tube, go underneath this vacuum line, your catch can if you have one. Just slide it onto the mass airflow sensor and onto the cold side of your turbo. I'm just going to go ahead and plug this sensor in. Go ahead and tighten this hose clamp. These ones aren't under boost, so you can just do this with a screwdriver. And then tighten the one that goes to your turbo. That's good. Now if you unhooked your PCV like I did, just go ahead and set your catch can up there and just go ahead and plug that in. See if I can remember which way that goes. Actually, I gotta look at some pictures. I had to refer to my video to see how it hooks up, but mine goes underneath. Let's go ahead and plug that in. Then get this 25mm Torx screw in over here. And go ahead and tighten this 25mm Torx bit right there. Try not to drop the torque wrench on, or you're tying a torque screw, but try not to drop your Torx bit. I've done it. Wasn't very easy to find. Alright, that's pretty tight. Okay, so now you're going to want to hook your PCV up. Just plugs in. Yours probably go in easier than mine because mine's cut in a weird position. Catch can up a little bit higher, and that'll just slide in. And take that piece, slide it over top, just like that. Don't ever forget to do this. Take your vacuum line, hook that back up. You won't have any breaks. Okay, now to get to the 10mm bolt that's on the bottom of the intake manifold, I'm going to place this 10mm bolt on the end of my pin magnet like that, so that I can put it into the hole. I don't know if you can see it or not. Can't really point at it, but right there above my finger, so here's in the way, but right above my finger right there, you can see that the bolt is actually perfect. The threads are perfectly lined up. So all I gotta do is slide the nut in there. All right, coming in the same direction you did when you took it out, obviously. And then try to just slide it until it goes in that hole. And you just gotta turn it enough to where when you pull your magnet out, the bolt doesn't come with it, which is sometimes it works. It might take you a few tries. There you go. So now I just tighten it the rest of the way with my ratchet. Alright. Can't really see it from this angle, but what I'm going to try to do is take the handle of this breaker bar. I'm going to push in on my socket so that I can put it onto the actual nut or onto the bolt. I just can't get it to come over far enough any other way. There we go. Alright, now we go find out what the torque spec is on that. Alright, so the Bentley manual says 14.7 pounds for that last 10mm bolt. I don't use a torque wrench on it, I just tighten it. In fact, the last time I put my intake manifold on, I didn't even put that bolt on. I wouldn't recommend doing that, it was a mistake. Obviously I put it on this time. If you like these videos, subscribe. If you like, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.